The Vanishing Act, an elevator in Los Angeles. A young woman enters an elevator. This happens all the time in cities everywhere. But this time is different. She acts strangely, her movements quick and furtive. She presses many buttons on the control panel. Then she waits, peeking out into the hallway. It's as if she's playing a game of hide and seek, or maybe she's hiding from someone real, someone just out of sight. Then, after a few confusing minutes, she vanishes. She's gone, and no one knows where. This was Elisa Lam. It was January 2013. She was a student, a tourist, far from her home in Canada. She was staying at the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, a place with its own stories, its own dark past. The only clue, a strange piece of video, would soon capture the world's attention. So who was Elisa Lam? By all accounts, she was a bright young woman. She was a student at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver. She loved to write and had a blog where she shared her thoughts. It was called Ether Fields. On her blog, she wrote about her struggles with depression. She also wrote about fashion, life, and her hopes for the future. This trip was a solo journey, something she had planned for herself. She arrived in Los Angeles on January 26, 2013. She was on a tour of West Coast cities. San Diego was next on her list. She was traveling alone, which isn't unusual for many young people. She seemed excited about her travels, posting pictures on social media. She was meant to check out of the Cecil Hotel on January 31st. That was the day her parents expected to hear from her. That was the day she disappeared into thin air. Now, let's talk about the Cecil Hotel. It has a reputation, a long and troubled history. Built in the 1920s, it was once a grand establishment. The elevator video. It's about 4 minutes long, silent, and grainy. The Los Angeles Police Department released it on February 13, 2013. It quickly went viral. People all over the world watched it, trying to make sense of what they were seeing. The video starts with Elisa entering the elevator. She's alone. She presses several buttons, then steps back into the corner, as if waiting for the doors to close and the elevator to move. But the elevator doors don't close. This is the first strange thing. Elisa waits. Then she cautiously approaches the open doors. She peeks out into the hallway, first to one side, then the other. She does this quickly, almost like she's afraid of being seen, or maybe she's looking for someone. She then steps back into the elevator, pressing herself against the wall near the control panel. It's hard to tell what she's thinking or feeling. Finally, after these confusing actions, Elisa Lam steps out of the elevator to the left and moves out of the camera's view. The elevator doors, which had remained open for most of the video, then mysteriously close. Once the elevator video went public, theories started to fly. Everyone had an idea. One of the most prominent theories centered on Elisa's mental health. We know she had bipolar disorder. Her sister told police that Elisa was taking several medications for it. Had she stopped taking her medication? Or was she having a severe episode, perhaps a psychotic break? Her strange gestures and apparent fear could be symptoms of this. Then there was the possibility of foul play. Was Elisa hiding from someone? Was someone pursuing her? Someone she knew, or a stranger she encountered at the hotel? Her peeking out of the elevator, her quick movements, could suggest she was trying to evade another person. The Cecil Hotel's history of crime made this theory seem plausible to many. Maybe someone followed her into the elevator, or was waiting for her in the hallway, just out of the camera's sight. The truth remained elusive, hidden. Section 5. The Grim Discovery. Horror on the Rooftop. Weeks passed after Elisa Lam vanished. The police investigation continued, but there were no solid leads. Her family waited anxiously for news. Back at the Cecil Hotel, something else was happening. Guests started to complain about the water. They said the water pressure was low. Some reported that the water looked dark or discolored. Others said it had a strange, unpleasant taste. This went on for several days. These complaints eventually led hotel maintenance staff to investigate the source of the problem. On the morning of February 19, 2013, nearly 3 weeks after Elisa was last seen, A hotel worker went up to the roof. The hotel had 4 large water tanks on its rooftop. These tanks supplied water to the guest rooms, the kitchen, and the coffee shop. The worker wanted to check these tanks. He climbed a ladder to look inside one of them. What he found was horrifying. Floating in the water was a human body. Section 6. The Coroner's Report. Answers or more mysteries. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office conducted an autopsy on Elisa Lam. The official report was released several months later in June 2013. The cause of death was listed as accidental drowning. The report also stated that her bipolar disorder was a significant condition. This suggested that her mental state might have played a role in the events leading to her death. But for many, this explanation wasn't entirely satisfying. The toxicology tests found traces of her prescription medications. These were medications used to treat bipolar disorder. There were no signs of alcohol or illegal drugs like cocaine or heroin in her system. This seemed to rule out the theory that she was high on illicit substances. Section 7. The Lingering Chill. Why we can't forget Elisa Lam. Years have passed since Elisa Lam's death in 2013, yet her story continues to fascinate and disturb people all over the world. Why does this particular case have such a strong hold on our collective imagination? A big part of it is undoubtedly that elevator footage. It's a haunting piece of film. Her behavior is so strange, so inexplicable that it's hard to look away. It feels like watching a private nightmare unfold. There's also a sense of vulnerability. Elisa was a young woman traveling alone in a new city. She was exploring, seeking adventure, much like many young people do. Her tragic end in such a bizarre way is a stark reminder of how quickly things can go wrong. It taps into our deepest fears about safety, about being alone and helpless in a strange place. Her story resonates because it feels like it could happen to anyone. The lack of clear, definitive answers is another major reason for the enduring interest. While the official cause of death is accidental drowning, many people find this explanation incomplete. The how and why of her getting into that water tank are still debated. Section 8. Unanswered Echoes. The floor is yours. So, what really happened to Elisa Lam? Did she suffer a severe mental health crisis that led her to the rooftop and into the water tank? This is what the official report suggests. Perhaps disoriented and confused, she saw the water tank as a place to hide, or something else entirely. Maybe she managed to climb in, and then couldn't get out. It's a tragic scenario, but one that aligns with an accidental death. Or was there something more? Was someone else involved? Someone who was never caught? Did this person force her or lead her to the rooftop? The difficulties in accessing the roof and the tank make this a persistent question. The lack of clear evidence of foul play in the autopsy doesn't entirely erase this possibility for some. The Cecil Hotel's dark past always looms in the background, fueling these suspicions of a hidden hand. The case of Elisa Lam is a chilling reminder of how some mysteries can remain unsolved, even when there's an official explanation. The elevator footage is a permanent, unsettling record of her last known conscious moments.